What is up, guys? Delboy here. So this weekend we have a fight between Josh Taylor and Ohara Davies. This is a highly anticipated fight. It is for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight title, as well as the WBC Silver Super Lightweight title. Two unbeaten prospects, and a lot of people felt this fight would be later on down the line. A lot of people didn't expect this fight to happen so early. And I have to admit, I didn't really expect to see it this year. I expected to see it, when they was near world level, or when one of them had a title, because that's the usual line we get fed when we talk about these big domestic fights. Oh, let's wait until somebody has a world title. But it's refreshing to see this fight get made. And we saw with George Groves and James DeGale, they fought early on in their careers, and both guys went on to have very successful careers. So it doesn't necessarily hurt you to take a loss early. I think both of these guys are good enough to have a good career afterwards, regardless of the result. So yeah, let's talk about the fight. And by the way, I'm not going to be able to do a post-fight video on Saturday night, unfortunately. I'm going to have to watch this fight on Sunday because I've got other things to do on Saturday. Usually with big fights I'll stay in and cancel plans, but this is too good to cancel kind of thing, one of those things. But yeah, you will get a post-fight video, but it's going to be on Sunday. And let's talk about the fight. It's a hard one to call. I have to admit I am a big fan of Ohara Davies. I'm going to be rooting for him, so I am a bit biased here. I like Josh Taylor as well. He's got an entertaining style. Got nothing against him. But I just really like Ohara Davies. I like the way he speaks. I like the way he wants to fight everybody. And he's an entertaining fighter as well. So I'm really impressed with what I see from Ohara Davies and from what I hear from Ohara Davies. I like him a lot. He's one of my favourite fighters coming out of the UK, actually. And I will be rooting for him. But this fight is a tough fight to call either way. I'm still not completely sold, but let's just talk about the fight briefly. Firstly, Ohara Davies. He comes into this fight with a record of 15 wins, 0 defeats, 0 draws, 12 of those 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He's 5'7". Josh Taylor, he comes into this fight with a record of 9 wins, 0 defeats, 0 draws, 8 KOs in those 9 wins. He is 5'10". So immediately, Josh Taylor's a bigger man. He's definitely the bigger super lightweight. Ohara's campaigned at lightweight as well. So Josh Taylor theoretically should be the stronger man in there. The heavier guy. Maybe he's going to make the most of that. He's got a 69.5-inch reach. I'm not sure what Ohara's reach is, but I know he's got extremely long arms. So Ohara might actually still have longer arms here. But physically, Taylor's definitely the bigger guy. When you assess both guys' resumes, they fought at like domestic level kind of thing. I'd say Josh Taylor's best win is Dave Ryan, who's a decent British level fighter, and Ohara Davies' best win is Andrea Scarpa, who defeated John Wayne Hibbert. John Wayne Hibbert is around the same level as Dave Ryan, and Scarpa beat John Wayne Hibbert. So I suppose you could even argue that Scarpa's better than Dave Ryan. I know that's a bit of a triangle theory, but I do think Scarpa would beat Dave Ryan, to be quite honest. But yeah, he's also beat Derry Matthews as well, Ohara Davies, though Derry Matthews was, I have to admit, shot, and he was 2 weights above where he should be. So both guys haven't exactly fought at a high level of competition. They're reasonably tested at domestic level, but that's pretty much it. They're around that same level. And when you look at both guys, I've seen both guys fight a few times now. From what I see of both guys, to me, Taylor seems to be the more technically sound boxer in a sense where he throws his shots more technically correct. He puts his shots together better. He's got better all-round footwork, and he's just basically got better boxing fundamentals in terms of the way he throws his shots, in terms of the way he moves around the ring. But from what I see of the two, I definitely think Ohara Davies is the more athletic of the two. He's definitely the more explosive guy out of the two. Athleticism, I think, goes to Ohara Davies, but all round sort of general technical ability, I think Taylor's better. But in terms of the technical abilities, although I think Taylor sort of throws his shots better and whatnot, and moves around the ring better, I still think Taylor gets hit more. I think Ohara utilises his athletic ability to get out of the way of shots by moving his head, by moving his sort of waist. He can move his trunk to evade shots just by using reflexes. But Josh Taylor does get caught a lot. I felt he got caught quite a lot in his last fight against Warren Joubert, or however you say his name, the South African guy. He got caught quite a lot in that fight. And also the fight before that in America, he fought a guy called Alfonso Oliveira. And in that fight, it was an 8-rounder, I believe, and he went the decision, and he got caught a lot in that fight, and he lost a couple of rounds. It wasn't an impressive performance. Taylor can definitely get hit. He is no defensive wizard, and although he's technically better, just in terms of his fundamentals, Ohara Davies is still better defensively because he can get out of the way of shots just by using reflexes. Not because he's technically better per se, but he's just more athletic. So that's an interesting dynamic. I think Taylor is definitely going to get hit as hard as he's ever been hit as a pro, and obviously we'll see how he takes that. I personally feel that Ohara is a very big puncher, so it's going to be interesting to see how Josh takes it. I've heard a few sparring rumours about Ohara and his punch power, about how hard he hits, and how sharp he is sometimes as well. He's explosive, like I said. He'll hit you with shots you don't see coming, plus the fact that he's heavy-handed. It's a recipe for disaster, He's an awkward fighter. One thing I do worry about Ohara, though, although he does evade shots well with head movement and through sort of waist, upper body movement, Ohara's feet are very, very slow. That's one thing I think Taylor is a lot better than Ohara at, is footwork. He moves around better. Ohara, to me, sort of traipses around the ring. He's very flat-footed. He's almost got that Broner-style footwork. He doesn't get in and out that well. He tries to walk his man down slowly, but he doesn't cut the ring that well. And that's the thing. Offensively, I actually think, like I said, offensively Ohara is more explosive, but will Taylor take advantage of that poor footwork? If he can't get close to Taylor with his feet, then he might not get the opportunity to land those big shots, because don't forget, Taylor is the bigger man, so if he boxes like the big man, maybe Ohara might struggle. If Taylor makes Ohara come to him, that'll be interesting, If he doesn't provide Ohara with those openings, it'll be really interesting to see how Ohara copes. Can he force a fight? Because we saw against Scarpa, where Scarpa kind of made him come to him, and although he won every round, he didn't look particularly great in that fight, Ohara. He looked very one-dimensional. He didn't change things up. He didn't work the body. He didn't try new things to get his man out of there. So if Taylor does something similar and tries to box on the back foot and just be conservative, I wonder how Ohara copes with it, because he doesn't cut the ring that well. And another thing in Taylor's favour, Taylor he was the better amateur. He has a much better amateur background than Ohara Davies. So like I said, maybe we're going to get a scenario here where just Taylor plays the boxing game. He's the more experienced boxer at the end of the day. He's got the better amateur pedigree. So theoretically, he should be the better boxer. I do think he's got the better technical skills in the way he throws his shots. So maybe he might play that game. If I was Taylor, that's how I'd play it, actually. I wouldn't try and walk Ohara down, because you're going to get caught. And Ohara is then going to take those openings, because he does find those openings quite well when you give them to him. But if Ohara has to make those openings himself, I'm not sure how he's going to cope with that. I'm not sure. It's an interesting fight, it really is. I can see both men winning. I can see it going to points for both men. I can see both men getting the stoppage, because one thing, again, Taylor does very well to me, is he invested the body very well. Much better body puncher than Ohara Davies. So I think it's a fight where it's either going to be Taylor's just better technical ability and amateur background comes through, or it's going to be Ohara's sort of athleticism and power that gets him out of it. I think it's a hard fight to call. I'm rooting for Ohara Davies. And gun to my head, I'll really struggle on this one, but I think this is just because of bias, but I'm going to go with an Ohara Davies stoppage, late rounds. Not confident at all. I think both men have a great chance, and I'm not fence sitting. That's just how I see it. I think both men have a great chance, but I'm going to go with a Ohara Davies late stoppage. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I feel I broke it down fairly to both guys. Both guys have great chances to win, and tell me what you guys think. Peace.